Hey everybody, welcome back to the Garden of Vendors. Today we're going to be talking about some tropical plants, subtropical, specifically some citrus plants that we have, and some things that we've just recently done to try to help nurture some of them back, keep them healthy, just all of those things. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about some of these citrus trees, some of these tropical plants that I have, and how we take care of them and what we're doing to make sure that they stay healthy, some things that I've done. Just recently, and I should have, my wife made a great point that no sooner did I do this, and she said, you should have recorded it, and she's absolutely right, and so I do apologize. But I'm going to talk through what I did, and that's this right here. It's not a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It is a Meyer lemon tree, but we've had some struggles with it, and I have been able to diagnose what went on, and what's taken place is root rot. And so basically it was a wrong setup. We went to Mexico and earlier this year, and anyways, there was a cap on the bottom of this pot. Citrus don't like their feet wet. They just don't. And unfortunately we didn't think about it, and that cap got put back on there somehow. I think we put it on there just so it wouldn't leak when we had it inside. Should have put it in something else. And you don't really water a lot in the wintertime because it's dormant, and so I think we just thought that it was fine, and unfortunately the water was sitting in the bottom, and this guy just started dropping leaves left and right. So in an effort to try to fix things, I built a greenhouse structure for it, brought it outside, put it in there, and I did get, I don't know if you're going to be able to see from there, but these here, these are new leaves that I did get to sprout down here as well. Here is a brand new one. So I was able to encourage some new leaves on this, and so I'm just going to continue, and that's keeping it in that greenhouse structure, making sure that I let this thing go bone dry after a good watering before I water again. So let it go bone dry, then water it thoroughly, and then don't water it again. Let this go bone dry. It's July, and so this plant will take it up, but the problem is when you get root rot, the plant stops taking up nutrients as well as what it used to because the roots have rotted, and that's where it gets its nutrients. However, Meyer lemons and lemon trees, citrus trees, I mean, they just have a will to live. They are fighters. And so this plant, I am determined I will bring this thing back to full beautiful life and filled with leaves. It's going to be a process. And so what I just did, because we are in the growing season, I didn't want to wait. This time of year is not the ideal time to prune per se, but I went ahead and did it. And I pruned a lot. Like when I say a lot, like, I mean, these are all cuttings from it. It doesn't look like a lot here, but I pruned more, and that's what you see right here in this pot. And what I did was, all of this came off of the tree as well, okay? And what I did was, I cut the ends at a 45-degree angle. I put it in some seed starting mix. I moistened the ends, and I put some rooting hormone on it. And so hopefully, it's just kind of I've never done it, and so hopefully we can propagate these. It would be so cool to get 4 more Meyer lemons from the cuttings that I had to go so drastic on. But we had branches that were crisscrossing over and coming in, and the what am I trying to say? The overall idea behind any fruit tree or citrus tree or anything like that is that you want good airflow. And unfortunately, with these crisscrossing branches, bless you, these crisscrossing branches and what they call water sprouts. Now, this right here actually is a water sprout. It's basically like a sucker. I don't know if you can see it growing straight up from a branch. I didn't remove that one yet. The leaves look really decently healthy on it. But that eventually will need to come off. So I'm hoping with this drastic cutting that I can spark more leaf growth, because when I cut it before, man, this thing filled up like I can't even explain how many blooms and flowers and just, I mean, it was filled. They've since all fallen off because I just don't think that the plant is getting the right nutrients to those blossoms to again hold fruit, and that's okay. We just want to get this thing back. We want to bring it back. So that's what we've done. We've propagated the cuttings, and then hopefully we can get some more Meyer lemons. So again, it's a very well draining, it's a cactus citrus mix, super loomy or sandy, but it dries out well. This is still moist from the last fertilizer and watering. MJ, don't do that, please. Monkey see, monkey do, and because Dad did it, it's okay. So hopefully we can get this thing back. So I will keep you guys posted. We're going to do a lot more videos on tropical or citrus plants and what we do and how we make them work here in the Midwest. But that's what we've got going on there. So keep you posted. Definitely a work in progress. This here, I'm super excited about. You guys probably saw my unveiling if you've been a part of the channel or you've had a chance to go through and watch some of the videos. This is the Miracleberry plant, and it's doing well. I'm learning a lot about it. I'm not sure. I don't believe you really prune at this guy, so I haven't yet. Again, I'm still learning a lot. Unfortunately, there's not a lot out there on these. So this is really going to be a fly by my seat of my pants type of growing experiment, and I'm gonna be okay with it. But I'm gonna take you guys along the way. This does like to stay moist. I've got this really, guys. It's kind of crazy, but you'll laugh. It's really just a perlite, okay, and Canadian sphagnum moss is all that's in this pot. Super acidic, super well draining, but you need to keep it moist. Like, this plant doesn't like to dry out, okay? So it doesn't like soaking wet, like it doesn't want to be sitting in water, which is why it's well draining, but the soil likes to stay wet. The other thing is that you cannot water this with regular faucet water from your hose or tap water from your house. It just does not do well with the chemicals. It has either got to be distilled water or rainwater, which, as we know, rainwater is always the best choice. Unfortunately, I don't leave it out exposed to the heavy rains that we can get, especially this year. This thing would probably look terrible if I had. But so that's what we're doing there. I'll take you guys along. I hope to get within the next year. I really hope to have some berries. Maybe just one. I don't know. But we'll see. So it's doing really well. It's super lush. It doesn't look like it has any type of issues. There is some new growth in here. It hasn't really gotten any bigger, but I did just recently put a rooting fertilizer type on the roots. I repotted it into this. And I also put in a lot of organic matter that was mixed in. So hopefully we'll get some more out of this guy. Over here, I'm super excited. I pruned this. This is a kumquat tree, and it is actually drying out. It's still a little moist in there. So this, again, in the citrus family, it does not like wet feet. So I will let this thing go bone dry before I water. But I've had these under the greenhouse. This thing, since I slightly pruned it, And what I will do at the end of this year, after I get, because I have a lot of kumquats on the plant right now, and more buds. But at the end of this year, kumquats really don't like a heavy pruning. But if you don't prune them to start, before you just leave them go, you'll get what's going on here. It'll be really spindly, the branches won't be strong. So this will go a small pruning at the end of this year, in hopes that that pruning will make for a very strong structure, in a very strong base that I will never have to prune again. Right now I've got it staked up in 3 different spots, or else this thing would just fall over with the amount of fruit that's on it, and it's just, the fruit is so heavy that it's just not supportive right now. So at the end of this year, once I get some kumquats off of it, I'm super excited about those. They're very tart, you know, and sour on the inside, but the skin is what makes a kumquat, and you eat the skin on these. It's very sweet, so you can either candy them or just eat them, and so I'm pretty excited. So that's kind of what's going on now, but again, you see I've got a lot of new growth here, and this will get a pruning. So I also have my dragon fruit that's doing extremely well. Well, let me show you. I can't remember, and I apologize. I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and I was watching a gentleman who, this is actually his, I don't know if he invented it, I think he credited someone else. And it's been a while since I saw his video, and I just was like, hey, I gotta do this. So I bought all the stuff to do it, and then I just put it on the back burner, and then I finally made the stand for the dragon fruit, and so now we repotted it, and so I want to show you guys that. So let's go over there. Alright, so here is that structure, and what I've done, this is a 17 or 22 gallon container, and you can get these at, like, I got this at Lowe's for $7.84 or something, like $8. I mean, you just can't beat it. It's got handles, so it makes it easy to move. And if these ever come out, I can put a rope through there and make a new handle. But I don't know if you guys remember, we didn't get up close and personal when we did the potting. And I've got 2 different types of dragon fruit in here, but they've really just, I mean, this thing, this little new shoot right here, I mean, it was like this big, like it was non-existent, and this whole thing has shot up. Now, you don't want them to continue to grow away from this pole, so what I will do, I'm going to let it get a little bit bigger, but I'm actually going to cut this off. I'll completely remove it, and that's the same thing that I'll do over here on this side, is I'll remove it. This one here is the American Beauty, and then this one is the Vietnamese Jana or Jayana, I'm not sure, but you've got the white and the red flesh interior. So it's doing great. I mean, obviously, and like I said, I repotted it. They're not finicky. They're super easy to grow. I highly recommend, if you get a chance, to pick one of these up, and you're interested in trying to grow something. These are super cool. I'm having a lot of fun, and it really hasn't even begun. So yeah, I strongly recommend. These do not like to dry out in between watering, even though they are a cactus. They like the soil to stay moist. So as you can see here, when I dig down, and this is how I tell, so if I dig down and I squeeze the soil, you see how it clumps together? It's still moist, okay? So it's got moisture in there. Remember, this is a sandy soil. It's mostly sand. You know, if I take the top layer and I squeeze it together, it doesn't, see how it just crumbles? So deep down inside there, it is still moist, and so I will probably end up watering this. I just watered it the other day, 2 days ago, and I'll probably water it every 3 days, so I'll probably water tomorrow. But it's doing great. The structure I build, eventually this will climb, and I will wrap and probably just use like a green plant tape, like tomato tape or whatever, cucumber, whatever, the planter's tape. And I'll tie it. And as it gets up here and it gets taller, I'll drill into here. And I'll put, I don't know if I'll use another steel galvanized tube like this or what, but I'll put it in there, and I'll probably do another one through. And what that'll do is I'll put a tube around it, and then that'll create the ability for the plant to start hanging over and growing down, and that's what triggers the plant to start fruiting. But I've capped it, I've done everything well. As you can tell, I've got them in there differently. So this one goes across to the middle there, this one goes across to the bottom, and it makes this not tip over. So it is not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about my plant falling because of a high wind, or if I need to move it, it's not going to mess up. And so at the very bottom of this, I guess I should have told you, at the bottom of this pot is, I just put lava rock in there. And then I put the soil on top. And the reason I did that was to add a little bit of weight, but also to make sure that it drained well. Because again, even though they like to stay moist, they don't like to stay with their feet wet. So that's our plants, guys. Those are some. There's a lot more to come. I unfortunately don't have the space yet. We will be eventually building a greenhouse that will be heated. And then my tropical, I call it disease, addictiveness, will take over. But as of right now, this is what we have, and I'm really having a blast doing it. So if you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. Love to hear back from you guys on what you think. If you need help, I will, if there's enough people ask when this thing starts to grow. I'd be more than happy to sell those cuttings for a lot cheaper than probably what you can find. If you need me to root them first, I can do that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So hopefully our Meyer lemons will take off. Hopefully this will continue to do well. We'll figure out what's going on with that guy and fix it, and keep you guys posted. So thank you so much for checking in today. Again, hit that bell so you get notifications, and like and subscribe to our videos. We'd love to have you guys here with us. It means a lot. Until next time, thank you so much.